Today's video, we are going to learn about using our new phone system's meeting feature. In order to access the meeting feature, you need to go over here to the left-hand side and click on the little icon that looks like a camera. This actually pulls up the meeting section here. Now here, everyone should have a personal URL for their meeting. If you don't like this, you can change it. Just click here on the little pencil and change it to whatever you would like. Click the check mark. And there we go. We have changed our GoToMeeting personal URL. If you'd like to copy this information, clicking here will just copy the URL and you can send it in an email or a meeting invite to anybody that you would like. The second section here is join by phone. Everybody's phone number should be the same. It should be the 1-571-748-4021. This allows anyone to join via phone if they do not have access to the meeting app. They'll also need this PIN number. The 816-5109# is mine. Yours would be different. Once you have all the information here, you can click Copy Info, and it'll copy it to your clipboard. And you can paste that directly into a meeting invite. Let me go ahead and pull up my personal email here. Once you've pulled this up, you just simply enter in anyone that you would like, and you just paste in the information. This will give the meeting URL here that they can click on and go to it. They can join by phone with the information, or if they have a built-in program like we do with Elevate, they could just simply click on this. This will become hyperlinked once you send this to whenever somebody clicks on it, then it dials directly for them. All they have to do is click here.
Welcome. Please enter your PIN and press pound when finished.
Okay, and you just send the email from here. So we're going to close. I don't want to send this email. Now, whenever you're ready to do this, you'll just click on Start My Meeting. Now, there's a lot of cool features here. The first thing that we have is the Record Your Meeting button. You can click this and record the meeting. This is usually standard within any of the meeting applications like Zoom or GoToMeeting that we've been using. The next one is the layout. You can choose whether or not Spotlight View or Gallery View. The difference between these, the Gallery View allows you to see all the webcams at once. The Spotlight View will actually bring the person who's talking to the foreground, so you actually see them or their video feed as a larger image on your meeting app. The next one we have here is the virtual assistant. This is probably the most interesting feature. I have never seen this on any other application.
Please note, this session is being recorded for transcription purposes.
And of course, whenever you click on it, it will notify everybody in the meeting and everyone who comes into the meeting that there is a virtual assistant and that it is being recorded. And basically what this does is it will transcribe everything that's said during the meeting and who said it. Now, one thing about it is it's obviously not a perfect technology, so there are at some points in time that it will transcribe something that wasn't actually said, but it will transcribe the entire meeting. The other key piece to this virtual assistant that you should be aware of is that whenever you make statements like, I will follow up, and things of that nature, this virtual assistant will actually put it in a to-do list, and to show who said that or who it was assigned to, what the task is, and when the follow-up date was mentioned within the meeting. It's a really interesting tool. Now, the way to get rid of this is if you decide during the meeting that you do not want the virtual assistant, you right-click on the virtual assistant with the left mouse key, and then just simply click Remove from Meeting. We're going to leave this up for a moment, just so that I can pull up what the transcript looks like once we get everything set up here. The next icon up here on the top right is the Lock Your Meeting icon. You can actually click this and it will prevent anyone else from coming into the meeting. This is extremely helpful whenever you're having meetings that you're discussing things that you may not want other people to become part of. And unless you change your URL link, others may have the ability to go into your meeting while you're in it. I would strongly recommend that if you are talking about things that you do not want other people to hear, lock your meeting to prevent anyone else from joining in. And of course, if somebody happens to join in that you did not want, you can lock the meeting and then boot them by clicking over here and removing them from the meeting. Now, the next thing here is our settings icon. This pulls up everything for you so that you have the ability to make changes or whatnot to your system, like your webcam is. My webcam's covered right now, so this is what you see. The next one here is your headphones. You can actually select which area you want your audio to come from. You can choose from whatever is connected to your computer. Obviously, your options will be different than what's on mine. Now you have the option here to test your speakers. This just basically allows you to see if the audio is coming from where you expected it to from the selection up here. Your next is your microphone. If you have an external microphone or built-in microphone, or if your webcam has its own microphone attached, you can select that from this drop down. And here you can see where you're talking and if it's picking you up. If you have a microphone selected and you're talking or you're snapping or whatever the case may be, and this blue bar is not changing, then it's not picking up that audio. You have something muted or something of that nature. Just troubleshoot the system. Now, this is another interesting piece here. This is your custom branding. I went ahead and uploaded the ATGF icon to mine so that it appears up here in the top left-hand corner. Right now, everybody's, I believe, defaults to Verticoms or something to that extent. To change this, you just click Browse and you choose your folder that the picture or image that you want there is set up to. You have to use either a PNG or a JPEG. You can't use a GIF or a TIFF or anything of that nature. It has to be those two file extensions in order for it to work. The next option you have here is for your background. As you can see in mine, I have a background of the USS Discovery from the newest Star Trek TV series, Star Trek Discovery. You can change your background as you wish by just simply hitting the Browse button and choosing where the image is that you're looking for. Again, this has to be a PNG or a JPEG, no GIFs, no TIFFs. Your next option here is your virtual background. You can change your background to blur it or whatever you have here. You actually have the ability to add one here. All you have to do is remove and hit your plus sign here and choose it. All right, next is a virtual assistant. All this will do is give you information on using the virtual assistant. It basically gives you information on how to help the virtual assistant take better notes from the meeting. Like I said before, for your best results, use your action words like I will. The next steps are we need to do this, or this task is assigned to Phil, or this task is assigned to Laura, or whatever the case may be. Just make those directions and connections so that the virtual assistant bit can be able to pick those up for you. Your next section here is security. This is kind of self-explanatory. You can set the system to automatically lock the meeting 5 minutes after it starts, which may not be the best results because we always know that there's always somebody who's going to be a little late to the meeting. So for our purposes, we might want to just leave it to where we lock it once we're ready to, as opposed to having it auto lock for us. Your next setting option is general. This is just general information. This allows you to change different features within the meeting. Whenever you're first going to the meeting, do you want it to show the dialog box so you have your webcam and your audio settings and everything? If you do, just check the box. If you don't, uncheck it. It defaults to checked. And of course, whenever that window is up, you do have the ability to check it to not show it again, which will uncheck it here, obviously. Participants and management section. New attendees join muted. Yeah, that's a great feature to have, but usually we're having just general conversations before the meeting actually starts, so that might not be a good idea. You can have it play chimes or tones whenever people enter or exit the meeting. That may be a little annoying, especially whenever we have people who lose connection. You may want to unselect this. Enable attendees to send emoji reactions. I'll actually show you what that is here in just a moment. This is more fun than it is anything else, especially since we have a smaller group. We don't have massive amounts of people who are attending our meetings like this. So it might not be the best option to use for our meetings. It is what it is. Use it if you like or if you don't like. It's up to you. Now, you do have the option, and this is defaulted checked, so that it will show who's currently talking in the meeting overlay, and then your notifications, and then noise reduction. You can actually change this to where you can reduce noise more so or none at all. And then bandwidth, this is automatic. You can force it into high bandwidth where it uses 3 megabytes per second. Just leave it at default and just let it choose what it needs. And then the advanced section, I would not recommend changing anything on this unless Verticom contacts us and lets us know to make those changes. The beta section is a beta section. These are pieces that are going to be put in as live functions within the meeting, but they're presented here so that you have the ability to use them until they become a permanent part of the program. Use at your own risk, basically. Anytime that you're working with betas, you definitely want to make sure that they're working before you use them, and to acknowledge the fact that they may cause things to freeze or break while you have them active, so you may just want to go ahead and make sure that it's not checked whenever you're actually in a meeting. It's fine to play around with. I don't know if I would chance it for an actual meeting. All right, and then the final icon, we do have our help icon. I forgot to mention that one. So the help icon here allows you to play tutorials, report problems, open support page, report audio video quality issues. And then the last one is your X here. This X is different from this one in the fact that it will automatically log everyone that's in the meeting out. This one up here will give you the option to jump off just yourself and leave it active for everyone else to stay in. That's really up to you on which one you want to use. Going down here to the options on the video window portion of the screen, I want to show you here we have our mic. To mute yourself, just
Muted.
click that and it will tell you that you're muted. And if you're talking, it will remind you that you're muted and to unmute yourself if you would like the participants to hear you.
Unmuted.
The ellipses here, if you click those, it brings up your options and it tells you what microphones you have available, which ones are active. As you can see here as I'm talking, which ones are showing up and which ones are not. And then you have your speaker options that you can select here. And then you can click to actually go into the settings section, which is from this icon up here. Here is your share webcam. If you click here, it will turn your webcam on so that you can see what's on the webcam. It is definitely an interesting picture, the way it shows up on there. Again, you have the ellipses that you can pull up and go into the settings and make updates to your webcam. Your next option here is to share your screen. Now this one is a nice feature as well. The share your screen actually allows you two options. You can share your screen. You can choose which options that you want here whenever you're sharing your screen. Or if you click the 3 ellipses here, you can click to share a video. And you can go in here and select a video that you want to share. And of course, that's full screen. It takes over everything whenever you're sharing the video, so everybody sees full screen what you're looking at or what video you want to share with them. Your next option is your reactions, this little smiley face here. If you click here, you can actually react to a comment. Happy, love, I'm going to whine about it, but I'm not going to complain. I'm laughing at somebody because they're, well, for whatever reason. This is extremely confusing to me. Thumbs up, thumbs down, or applaud. And whenever you click it, it will show your name, and there goes your reaction across the screen. So that's kind of interesting too. It helps to not interrupt who's presenting information so that they can actually see that you agree or whatever the case may be. I'm surprised they don't have a hands up option. Over here on the left hand side, we're going into additional information. The first one that automatically defaults is your attendee list. This shows everybody who is a list. Right now, it's just me and the virtual assistant who is dictating notes on this meeting. The next tab you have is the chat tab. And it's red because I had locked the meeting. Now, interesting, if you need to send someone specific in the meeting information and you don't want to broadcast it to the group, you can click the drop down and choose. Obviously, it's just me in this meeting. You would have an option to select whom you would like to send a chat message to. Now, the next one here, notes. This is something that I have not seen on any other program. This section here allows you to take specific notes in regards to the meeting. So you can type in your information here. You can change your font color, change your font types. This is normal, this is italicized, this is underlined, and this is a strike through. This is an undo, and this is a redo. You have your bullets, your numbered bullets, and this is just for, I guess, checkboxes or whatever. And then you have so if you want it left aligned, center aligned, or right aligned, you can click those three options. And then you have your indent options here. This is just a really basic word processor type program. And we have here our font size. But anyway, this is where you can take notes. The great thing about this is that everybody can see the notes that are taken, and if anybody needs to add anything specifically, they can go in and add while you're putting things in. This is great for kind of a group project or something of that nature where we need to make additional comments on something. This is basically the chat feature. The one additional option that I haven't mentioned yet is down here, the meeting info. If for any reason that you need to have somebody join the meeting that you forgot to send an invite to or whatnot, you can actually copy this or send them an email from here. And it'll auto-populate that information. So this is the other email that you will get that actually has the virtual assistant on it. The first one that we received is this one. And this one basically has all the information for the notes that were taken during the meeting. The second email that we got is from the virtual assistant. So if we click on the 24 action items. All right, so this is the window or the website that will pop up with all the information in regards to everything that was said during the meeting. And then we have our insights here, follow-up, ideas, has all kinds of information in regards to this. You can edit what was said. That works extremely well if for any reason that it transcribes something that was not actually said. Copy the transcripts. There we go. Reduced it down to 9 pages. We get who was talking, what time they were talking. This is a really great tool in order to document our meetings. So this concludes the training session on the Elevate meeting app. If you have any questions, raise your hand. Good, I love having no questions. We've got everything covered. All right, thank you for joining us or joining me, and you have a great day.